Welcome to Taiwan Talk. I am Sheree Felice, and this week I am joined by Ling Chiu, the Secretary General of the Taiwan Association for Human Rights. Listen in as we discuss TAHR's role in protesting the Hong Kong extradition bill. So, welcome to Taiwan Talk. I'm here with Ling, the Secretary General of the Taiwan Human Rights Association. Hi, Ling. How are you?
Hi.
So why don't you tell me about your role at the Taiwan Human Rights Association?
So far, I'm the Secretary General of the Taiwan Association for Human Rights. So I was in charge of the whole association to confirm that everything is going on well. And also myself, I also focus on the human rights defender issues, such as the Taiwanese activist Ling Chiu case who detained in China, and also the refugee and asylum seeker issues, freedom of speech, etc. Yeah.
Can you tell me how you've been involved with the protests that are going on in Hong Kong?
Actually, we have some interaction with civil society of Hong Kong, since the Sunflower movement and also the occupation movement. And so they will connect us and also tell us the current update of their situation there. And they also wish us can speak out to say something about this amendment of the extradition bill. And we also issued a lot of joint statements and press conference in the Taipei's Hong Kong office to show our angry and our disagree about this amendment. Yeah.
Did you rally outside of the Hong Kong headquarters in Taipei?
Yes, we organized the press conference outside the Hong Kong office in Taipei twice. Actually, March, when the Hong Kong government, the legislative yuan in Hong Kong, they say they're going to propose this bill. We already went there and say that we are worried about this kind of amendment. But after that, the Hong Kong government still going through to the second review. So when we know that there will be a second review until June 12th, then we organized the press conference again. But if before that, on June 9th, there is already a Hong Kong students in Taiwan. They already organized a rally in front of the Hong Kong office in Taipei. And also the next day is the Taiwanese students. They also gathering there to show their protest and angry about this bill. Yeah.
What was the rally like?
Actually, it's a very peaceful gathering. During our activity, we invited several NGOs in Taiwan to share our opinions and perspectives on this revision of the bill, and also show our concern. And also, like the Amnesty International and also the Reporters Without Borders, this kind of international NGOs all come together and share their point of view on this amendment. And also there are students, like the Taiwanese students, they show their support to the Hong Kong students, because at that day, the Hong Kong, they have a strike on work and university. So in Taiwan, the Hong Kong students and also the Taiwanese students, they also the same sit in and after our press conference in front of the Hong Kong office.
I'd like to know your opinion about the extradition law and how you think Hong Kong is handling the protests.
It seems like the Hong Kong government still want to pass the law without, seeing already so many protests and disagreements from the civil society. So for us, we think this part is very against the principle of democracy. And also, they use the Taiwanese case because there are a couple of Hong Kongese, they went to Taiwan and there is a murder case happening in Taiwan, and they use this case to say that they need to amend the bill. After we saw the articles, and you can see that the whole bill is about how to standardize anyone from other countries in Hong Kong or even the Hong Kongese in Hong Kong, and they can be extradited to China. But the murder case in Taiwan actually is no longer the most important part. So it will be angry for us because they just use this kind of murder case as an excuse to go through their amendment to pro-China and pro-Beijing. So we think it's not a professional way to review and to revise the law, which is related to the basic human rights. And also because we are worried about there is no judicial system in China. So if anyone who extradites to China, they may face unfair trial, and they may be forced detained, or they cannot communicate with their family members, or they cannot have lawyers anymore. So this kind of situation is just the reason why in the beginning this extradition bill was made from mainland China excluded from their bill. Yeah, but now they just want to include it.
Do you think the extradition bill will be passed?
We hope not. Yeah, so that's why the Taiwanese NGO and students and also people in Hong Kong, they organized so many rally. I wish this bill could be suspended, but we also worry about, because so far the majority of the legislators in the Hong Kong Parliament is all pro-Beijing legislators, pro-Beijing parties. So I'm worried about it might be passed at the end. Yeah.
People and activists are calling these protests the potential to be the next Tiananmen Square. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think some people are worried about that the Hong Kong government will use more violence and even the military, or maybe the military from China to crack down the protests. So that's why we keep monitoring the situation in Hong Kong, and also issued a lot of condemn joint statement to criticize about the police violence. We wish they won't become another Tiananmen Square, because that is a big tragedy. And so we will call the Hong Kong government to stop this kind of violence from police, and also stop this kind of violent crackdown.
The chief executive of Hong Kong, Carrie Lam, has recently called the protests rioting, and she is quoted as saying, "These protests are intolerable in any civilized society that respects the rule of law." And people think that this means that there's going to be harsh legal penalties for those who have been arrested for taking part in the protests. Would you still advise people to protest, even though there's a potential to have a harsh punishment in the end?
I think the protest and demonstration or assembly and association is the basic human right for everyone. So as long as we are protest peacefully, we don't use any violence, then any charge of the criminal crime is unreasonable and is unacceptable. So it is the Hong Kong government who, if they charge this kind of criminal on this protester, I think that's the wrong decision. And to call this peaceful gathering rude, I think is totally misunderstood.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for speaking with me. Thank you very much. That's it for this week's episode of Taiwan Talk. I'd like to thank Yiling again for joining me. Don't forget to tune in next week for an all-new episode, and as always, remember to take care of yourselves. I'm Sheree Felice.